Good morning, everyone. The Chief Executive will first speak before answering questions. Those who ask questions, please limit the number of questions to no more than 2. Chief Executive, good morning. 2 months ago, when I attended a press conference before the ExCo meeting, I talked about manpower shortage in Hong Kong, especially in the construction and transportation sector. At that time, I told everyone that the relevant bureaus have been looking into the situation. Once they have reached a decision to address the problem, they will announce the results. The fact is that after we have triumphed over the pandemic, we have reconnected with the world, our borders have reopened, our economy has revived. In a number of sectors, especially those that are labor-intensive, we hear about manpower crunches. The government will shortly announce our proposals to address the issue. That includes importation of labor with a limited quota. The general direction of our proposals is to protect the rights and benefits of local laborers. First, we will give priority to local employees. When we need to import labor, we will only do so in sectors with a severe manpower shortage to address the problem. Secondly, we need to protect the wage level of local workers. The wages of imported workers cannot be lower than the median wage of the relevant jobs. 3. Importation of labor is supplementary and time-limited. We'll continue to enhance vocational and professional training. We will focus on training local laborers. We will attract laborers to rejoin the market forces. We will adopt a multi-pronged approach, including promotion, enhancing trainings, streamlining work processes, making better use of innovation technology, and find other ways to enhance productivity. Manpower shortages cause problems in the operation of businesses, which in turn affect the quality of services provided to the general public. In the long run, it will also harm our competitiveness. Another bottleneck we see is supply of land and housing. In order to overcome this problem, the development of the northern metropolis is of paramount importance. The metropolis itself is a major source of housing and land. It is also a major driving force of our economic development. Yesterday, the Development Bureau announced the setting up of the Northern Metropolis Coordination Office to coordinate and to lead the development of the Northern Metropolis. By setting up this office, it shows our determination to develop the Northern Metropolis. I've tasked the Coordination Office to formulate and announce within this year the action plan and initiatives of the Northern Metropolis, and to enhance capacity and to expedite all processes. There is also the pilot scheme on private developer participation in subsidized housing development. Details will be announced. We will make use of an efficient market and a result-oriented government to achieve our goals by increasing quantity and efficiency. The details will be announced shortly. Thank you. Now the floor's open for questions. Please raise your hand, identify your media outlet. Don't ask more than 2 questions, please. The first one is the one at the back, closer to me. I'm from Now TV. Well, you said that, importation of labor scheme details will be announced as soon. And we see that the Labor Advisory Board said that they have not been consulted. Does it mean that in the future, special schemes will be used to skip them in relation to a resumption of land from the golf course for housing? And it is said that some international games cannot come to Hong Kong, which in turn harms Hong Kong's development. What's your view? And there are also suggestions that peripheral land is identified to build the 12,000 units. Will you consider this option? The importation scheme of labor has been thoroughly considered. It is used to a limited extent, targeting sectors in grave needs. In the process of deliberation, we have spoken to stakeholders and relevant sectors. Announcements will be made soon and details will be reviewed. We will also tell you about our concerns. I've already outlined the three major principles, that is to protect the employment of local workers, and whatever the importation scheme is, it will be supplementary and time-limited. Regarding the golf course in Fanling and the ongoing statutory process at the Town Planning Board, I would like to say that in Hong Kong we all enjoy freedom of expression. This is fully demonstrated in this case. If you have something to say, you're allowed to do so in the statutory process, and we will listen to you. This whole thing boils down to a number of points. First, resumption of land from the golf course at Fanling for housing purpose is a decision made in the last government. Before the decision was made, views have been collected, and those views included opposing ones and supporting ones. It was thoroughly discussed, with opposing views and supporting views fully expressed. So similar to what we're doing now. The last term of government made a decision and proceeded with the statutory procedure. So we're now at the stage of town planning process. Views will be heard before further decisions are made. We will handle the whole matter in accordance with the statutory process. Whatever the decision, under our plan, 32 hectares of land will be resumed in September. We are working in accordance with the process. In the conduct of international golf tournaments, that will not be affected. The resumption of 32 hectares of land by the government is for the use of the general public. And if the 32 hectares of land is needed for the organization of international tournaments, of course, the government will make preparations and make available the 32 hectares of land for organizers of these tournaments. It can be used for parking spaces or reception facilities. There are actually two 18-hole world-class courses at the Fanling course, and there is another one, an older one with 10 holes. We have assessed that there is sufficient facilities to meet international tournament needs. We'll be more than happy to make available the land we have for the use of international tournaments, so these tournaments will not be affected. In any event, we follow the statutory procedure. Decisions and recommendations will be made by the Town Planning Board, and we will proceed from there.
Next question, on the left at the front, the lady over there.
From TMHK. So just to follow up on your announcement that there will be a plan to import labor. So could you specify what's the role of the Labor Advisory Board when designing this much anticipated plan? Because you said you've consulted different sectors, but some members of the board said they haven't been consulted before. And secondly, about the government's bid to ban the protest song "Glory to Hong Kong." So, could you specify why did the government resort to applying for such an order to ban the song, and how will this order enable the government to take down the song from the internet world? Thank you.
In regard to the overall manpower requirement for the different industries, I have said 2 months ago during one of these pre-ExCo stand-ups that we are looking seriously at the need of different sectors. And at that time, I particularly emphasized 2 sectors. One is the construction sector, the other is the travel sector, transportation sector. We are coming to a conclusion, and the details of our plan will be announced very soon. In the course of making all these assessments, the policy bureaus and responsible officials have been talking and listening to views by representatives of different sectors. When the announcement of the plan is made, which will be very soon, then all these details will be covered. As regards the legal action that is being taken in court to seek an injunction to a song which is not compatible with the national interest, it is not appropriate for me to make any comment at this stage because I respect the judicial process. But what is very clear is one point, that the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region has a duty and obligation to safeguard national security. And we should do it proactively and also preventively. This is why the government is taking this action. We'll wait for the decision of the court.
We're almost out of time, so we'll take the last question on the left at the back, the lady over there. Good morning, I'm from Sing Tao Daily. On imported labor, over the past few months, there's talk about safeguarding local workers. We've heard a lot of that. But then last month, there was supposed to be an LAB or Labor Advisory Board meeting, but it was cancelled at the last minute. And then all of a sudden, there is talk that announcements will come very soon. So why wasn't the LAB meeting held last time? Why weren't the LAB members consulted first? The labor sector has yet to hear a solid rationale on why the government refuses to take one more step to talk to the labor sector, and the LAB thinks the government is trying to bypass them. Now, on APEC, I know the Trade and Industry Development is working on the APEC arrangement. Last time you said you will wait for the other side to make a move. Now, if you are not allowed to attend the APEC, will the TID continue with the work? Now, if you're banned this time, will that mean that you will stop attending future APEC meetings altogether? Now, on addressing the labor crunch, we've talked to the representatives from different sectors. When we take the role of the LAB seriously, very soon there will be an announcement with the scheme. We will give you the details. But I want to stress this point. When we have a serious labor crunch, and if we do nothing about that, the entire community will be affected. This will mean lower service quality, service falling short of our expectations, and they will also seriously affect our economy. Our competitiveness will suffer. So we have to address this issue. In the issue, I stressed 3 points. First, safeguarding the interests of local workers. And there are different mechanisms. So we are doing only a limited degree of importation, and we will let you have the details of the arrangement. In our assessment, we have talked to the relevant parties. Now, on the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation meetings, the upcoming meeting will take place in the United States. As I've said, there are rules and there are practices concerning APEC. The organizer of APEC meetings has the duty to invite the APEC members to attend the meetings. Hong Kong, China is a member. We will follow the rules and the practices of the APEC in attending APEC meetings. APEC meetings do not belong to any particular country or economy. We will follow the rules of APEC and practices in attending APEC meetings. Thank you. We will stop here. Thank you.